So, I just got done watching The Darkness, made in 2016. So yeah, let's just get into it. So The Darkness, this by Netflix's description, after bringing home a set of mysterious stones from the Grand Canyon, a boy unleashes an ancient force that begins to terrorize his family. Yeah, if you couldn't tell by that description, this movie was pretty lame. It was not good. Yeah. So I will try to start off with no spoilers, and then we'll head on into spoilers. Okay? So, in this movie, you're gonna focus a lot on this kid named Michael. He, honestly, for me, he is the biggest reason why this movie is bad, is that character. Is the actor, I don't really know if he's good, because for some reason they had him just kind of be a mute for most of the movie, and every once in a while he'll say something, but that's like a sentence and that's it. And yeah, so you focus up on him a lot. He has autism, but I honestly believe they overshoot it. They make it so it's more hardcore than I feel like autism really would be, because admittedly I don't really know anyone that has autism that would be about 15 years old, but basically how this movie portrays him is they portray him as if he's still 3. He is 15 years old and he's 3. But I don't know, it could just be me not really understanding that as much, but whatevs. And so you're gonna focus up all on him a lot. And there's the mom, her name is Bronnie, the dad, Peter, aka Kevin Bacon. I'm probably just gonna call him Kevin Bacon, just because I'm gonna know him more as that than Peter. And this girl, Stephanie. That's pretty much all we're gonna focus on. Everyone else in the movie is pretty much, just worthless. They don't really have anything to do with the movie. This movie is honestly, it's not scary. There's not good jump scares. They try to have some good jump scares, but they just kind of end up having generic jump scares that you've seen over and over and over and over and over. If you watch horror movies, you would have seen all of these jump scares millions of times before. You're not seeing anything new on the table brought in on this movie. There, unfortunately, is nothing new added on throughout this whole movie. It's kind of just pretty much like it's pretty generic. It's honestly, it's pretty generic. Ghost movie, just most of them, pretty generic. You see reflections in pictures or whatever. You see movements in backgrounds or whatever. Just stuff like that. And so it's just generic. That's really all this movie is generic. Nothing else. The acting, there's a few stinkers. Like, Stephanie. A few times for an example, she's going downstairs, grabbing some milk, starts drinking some milk, straight out of the carton, so ew, already. And then, if I'm not mistaken, she closes the fridge, and then she just starts hearing these roaring, these growling, all around her, and she's like, oh! And then she turns around, and that zooms in on her face. It zooms in on her face, and she's just neutral. She's not scared or anything. She's not even the slightest bit concerned. She's just neutral. Just Okay. You know, it's just like, what? I don't get the feeling of you are in danger if you look neutral. It's just like, come on. And, yeah, so overall, the acting, for the most part, is decent. Decent at best, okay? Like, it's decent and bad. You know, there's a few bad ones and there's some good ones. But, the story itself, honestly, you could figure out the story from the first 3 minutes of the movie. It's pretty simple. And yeah. You figure it out within the first 3 minutes what the whole premise is, how you can easily defeat the darkness or whatever. It's just, it is not leaving you being like, oh crap, what are they gonna do? Oh shit, oh no. You know, is Michael and Peter and all of them are they gonna make it out of there? No, you don't get that feeling. No, I did not feel in the slightest like they were in any bit of danger. None of them seemed like they were even on the verge of getting hurt or anything. It's just, I don't get, just this movie did not portray any danger. Which definitely messes with it a bit. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. It's shot okay. You know, it's nothing, great. It's not bad. It's not good, though. It's okay. You know, it's average. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, I don't really know what else to bring up that's not really a spoiler, because I'm trying not to spoil the stuff, but, yeah. So, okay, no, here, I'll give you this. So, Michael, they are visiting the Grand Canyon, and, Michael and Stephanie and some boy, I think his name is Andrew, but, they go waltzing off. Then Stephanie and Andrew go waltzing off and leave Michael to himself. And then Michael hops down this tiny ledge and then goes to the ground, just goes to the floor completely. Falls down this like 10-foot drop, lands straight on his feet, so immediately that would have broken his leg or foot at least. But nah, he's good. Then he finds all these stones that have engravings on them that are very shittily done. They look awful. They look like they literally took the props, the prop master or whatever that role is, 2 minutes to make. Not even that. Honestly, it looks like a preschooler's art project. It did not look good. And so, like, one of them apparently is a coyote, but it looks more like a fucking ant. So if you somehow can make a coyote look like an ant, that's pretty bad. You know, it's just, when I look at the engravings, it does not look anything like any of them. And so there's like about 5 engravings, and they all represent something. They all have an engraving of something, like a snake, a crow, a wolf, a coyote, and something else. I don't remember. They're pretty. Just none of them matter except the wolf. That's the only one that apparently matters, I guess. But yeah. Scariness ensues after that. They go home, Michael starts acting all spooky and all that, but the movie is not spooky, unfortunately. It is boring, honestly. It is boring until For me, I found it a little bit more interesting at the last, like, 15 minutes, sort of. But that only lasted for about 10 of those. And then, like, yeah. For basically the last 15 minus the last 5 minutes, I guess, yeah. So, there was a tiny, tiny, tiny burst of interesting scenes. Then it went back to please end. And, yeah, that's it. That's this movie, honestly. There's nothing more to be said about this movie. So let's just get into final verdicts, because I cannot think of anything else to bring up that's not a spoiler. Yeah, so out of 10, this movie for me, I believe is a 4. Yeah, I believe it's a 4, slightly below average, even though, I don't know. It's either between a 3 or 4, but honestly, I probably enjoyed The Darkness more than I enjoyed The Tax Collector. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the 4. But yeah, so that's it. If you don't, if you want to hear the spoilers, stick around. But if not, go away. But yeah, so now in the spoiler section, we're just gonna start out straight. So, yeah, they go to the Grand Canyon, get the rocks, head home, okay? They start going home, and immediately, Michael might be acting different, I don't know, because from the get-go, they instantly made Michael seem like a freak of nature, basically. He just did not seem, he always seemed like something was up, basically. From the starting, they did not make it seem like he, yeah, like they were saying that, okay, that the boy comes home and he starts acting strange. What's strange for this kid? We don't know. We saw him for 2 minutes, and then he was silent. Now he's silent. That's pretty strange. Wow. Which I found pretty cool. AKA strange, meaning they go to the store, Bronny, wow, that's a good name, Bronny and Michael, and then Michael grabs 2 balloons, and then the mom says, you can only have one, but then he just stands there, and then they get both. Pretty strange, right? Whoa! There's so many scenes in this movie that are just like, what? What? What's that have to do with anything? And yeah, so there's another scene later I'm very excited to talk about because I find it stupid. It's hilarious to me. But what else? The mom kind of, I'm kind of jumping up ahead pretty fast. Just because literally nothing except just walking around and boo happens. So I'm just gonna fast forward. The mom somehow, like 30 minutes into the movie, immediately is like, there's something in our house, like a demon or something. It's like, what? What? Your kid has been acting strange. That's pretty much it. The hell makes you believe there's something in your house, like a demon? What? So that was a little odd. And what this movie loves doing, I've noticed, is that Kevin Bacon, or Bronny, I guess her name is, will be sitting there walking around and then quote unquote watching Michael, and then being like, hey, Stephanie, watch Michael, and then they immediately leave, and then she gets distracted, and he goes and does something that the darkness tells him to do, or something. I don't know. And or like Ronnie, she's at the grocery store again, and then she's just like, hold on, Michael. So because she's all stressed out, she goes into the alcohol aisle and grabs 2 bottles of vodka. Comes back, and then he's got like 7 container, like toys, And then she just buys them all for some reason, which, okay, I guess. And that's literally how all of these things happen, is that they're all just like, hold on, Michael, just stay there. Even though you have shown us every single time I have walked away that you will not just stay there and you'll do something that I don't want you to do. But I'll be right back. And then comes back. What? You did something naughty? Why would you do that? Oh my god. Happens. That's how anything happens in this movie. Every time Michael is supposed to be quote-unquote watched, you know something's up. Because you already know something naughty's gonna happen. And also, Michael straight up lights the house on fire. And then Bronny, aka the mom, and, well, okay, yeah. And he lights the house on fire. Then Bronny and Michael leave. Kevin Bacon's at work. He comes home. And then he's pissed. He wants to get on Michael's case because he's been acting like a little shit, basically, lately. And so he starts raising his voice, getting a little upset with him. And then the mom is just like, what? Whoa! Calm down! And it's just like, what? Getting angry won't do anything, and just sitting there getting mad at him because he's getting frustrated that he just practically burned down their house. And it's just like, I feel like that is a very accurate emotion for your kid burning down your house. Autism or not, I would still definitely understand why that would be frustrating and you would want to lash out. But I don't know. But here's my favorite scene that is just like, because it just makes some fucking sense. So Stephanie comes home from school, walks upstairs, and immediately grabs her trash can in a plastic container. Just a Tupperware container. And she starts forcing herself to vomit. And this is already sounding bad because I'm saying this is my favorite scene. But it's not because bulimic is good. Bulimic isn't bad. Don't do it. Being bulimic is not good. But yeah, so she starts forcing herself to throw up. And then she starts throwing up into the plastic container. And then her mom's just like, she sees this, and she's like, oh, you're sick. And then the girl starts like freaking out, just crying and all that. Dad comes home, and they lift up her bed, and it's just filled with containers full of her vomit that she keeps eating and then forcing herself to throw up. And it's just like, why? Everything about that confuses me. Because what makes you be like, okay, I'm eating this Pop-Tart, you eat it, and then you go in your room and you grab a freaking container and then, let me put this lid on it and then store it. Like, why? You're in your room, there's a door that leads to a bathroom. Why the hell do you not use the toilet like everyone else in existence? And it's just like, why do you also just keep it then? If your whole under your bed is full with just containers full of vomit, why? Just everything about that, why? It just makes no sense. I'm gonna keep this for safekeeping. This vomit, it's special to me. I'm keeping it. It's just like, why? So yeah, they take her to a hospital after that, and that scene goes absolutely nowhere. It has nothing to do with the movie, so I have no idea of why it's in there. It has nothing. It does not add in. Oh, no, actually, now I realize why it was in there. Is so that then they would have an excuse for Bronny's mom to watch Michael. Okay, yeah, now I remember. So, Bronny's mom starts watching Michael. Her name is Trish, it seems. Yeah, Trish. Trish starts watching Michael, and she brings over a kitty cat. The second I saw the cat, I knew what was gonna happen. He starts. Yeah, the cat starts acting all up. So, and then Michael just starts following it. And Trish is like, "Hey, you should leave him alone, man. Yeah, you should give him some space." And then Mike goes in, shuts the door behind him, and then she trips, turns around, and then boo! A rattlesnake. Aw, remember one of those stones I was telling you about involved a snake? Woo! And then she freaks out, goes over and opens up the door, and then she just is like, "Oh my god," and then you don't see anything. Then they go to the hospital again, and then there's like, Michael was choking the cat, she was trying to kill him. And it's just like, I feel like we got that, and I feel like that was kind of obvious. I don't think that he was going in there to give him extensive amounts of catnip. I don't think so, no. No. And then after that, go home. And then, oh yeah, the Kevin Bacon and Bronny, they have to go to they have to go eat out with Kevin Bacon's boss. They're eating out, and the wife doesn't really like the boss. And then the boss and Kevin Bacon, they peel out to go to the bar and drink, and then they come back, and then Kevin Bacon, Bronny is just like, "I think there's a demon in our house," and then the boss starts making fun of her. And it's just like, if the boss's wife would understand and would be happy to talk with you, why the hell would you not just tell him then? Why would you wait for your husband's boss to come back and then be like, "Oh yeah, speaking of which, my house is infested by demons"? Like, no, why? And then they get in an argument after that because apparently the boss is gonna go to work the next day and be like, "Ha ha, they have house issues, ha. They have their autistic kid that's acting weird." Oh, like, I don't know. So they're getting mad at each other for that. I'm trying to think of anything like interesting that happens in this movie because I'm passing over so much because nothing freaking happens. Nothing of importance. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of black handprints that keep showing up around the house. That's pretty much it. Okay, so fast forward a whole bunch just because I'm drawing a blank here. Finally, Kevin Bacon, he starts believing them. Because I think the wife sends him a video. Saying a video of about some like Indians or whatever that would that have a area in the Grand Canyon that had some rocks on it. Oh man, just like I was saying. But these and so if you ever take these rocks like how Michael did, some spooky stuff would happen, and basically if it got to the level where they would see a wolf, the world will end or something. I don't fucking know. And so he watches the video, and then they say the only way to stop them is by grabbing the stones and putting them back. So what do? Nothing. They don't go home and look around and see if Michael has any stones, because he does. they just go on with their merry lives. Both of them, they just are both just like, okay, let's go, and they just ignore it. And it's just like, why? And okay, and oh yeah, and so Kevin Bacon sees a coyote in his son's treehouse. So that's another stone knocked off, and I see a crow. That's another of the stones, so it's literally just the wolf left. So it's getting very close to the world ending. So, yeah, now I'll kind of go forward, because I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, because this movie is honestly very forgettable, even though I literally just freaking finished watching this. Yeah, so fast forward, the boss apparently does believe them. So why did you mock them and make fun of her and tell her how dumb she is? Just for fun, apparently. I don't know. And then he says, oh yeah, so my kid was sick. He was like about to die, basically, because he was so sick. So we finally found this girl that was able to cure him. And I actually have a phone number, and here, I'll give it to you. And they get the phone number, and then this is when the movie actually gets good for the next, like, 10 minutes. Is that then there's this lady and her daughter. And they decide to do a cleansing of the house. You know, like if there's ghosts and all that, like in The Conjuring, cleansing and all that fun stuff. And it actually is amusing. Stuff actually is like, because stupid Michael he's not involved in these scenes, and I feel like that is why these scenes are decent. Is a second Michael starts doing shit again, the movie went back to shit. Michael, honestly, the character sucks. He does not, so, yeah, they get these cool little things that would like start vibrating whenever they can sense like unholy spirits or something like that. And they'll go around cleansing room to room, and every once in a while they'll get like a little, like in one of them, she can sense something from these toys on the ground, Michael's toys, and then they start shaking, and then they fly at them, impale all their bodies, and it's like, ooh, that's pretty cool, you know, more cool than nothing happening. That's this movie's specialty. And yeah, then they just go upstairs after cleansing that room, and then, oh, Michael walks away, and then Kevin Bacon follows him into his room, and then, oh, Michael suddenly walked through a portal, literally, a portal to the Grand Canyon, where all the Indian, or whatever, just, you know, all the bad guys are at. And then, oh, but all the stones are just right there. And so Kevin Bacon grabs him and starts trying to put him down, but he gets pushed back by the Indians. And then he's just does the trope that you've seen millions of times. Please take me instead. Leave him. He's just a boy. Take me. But that's not gonna matter if the freaking world ends, bud. But okay. And so, but then, okay, yeah, so they're like, okay. Michael goes back, and then he's like, Dad, I am not afraid anymore. So he grabs the stones, and he starts putting them in one at a time, killing one at a time, basically, of the Indians. And then he finally kills the last one, the wolf. And the end. I don't know, like, is the ending was very anticlimactic, and it just wasn't scary. None of it was scary. So yeah, that's it. I know this wasn't the best one, just because this movie wasn't the easiest to review by yourself. Maybe if I had other people to review this with me, it would be easier. But yeah, so yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, let me know. Alright, bye!